friends, it's Hope, and today I'm here to talk about the 10 best books that I read in 2015. Now, usually month by month I do my best in books video, and instead of doing one for the month of December, I thought I'd just give you the 10 best books that I read this year. And because there are 10 of them, I'm not going to go super in depth with each book. But instead, if I did do a non-spoiler book review on my channel, I will go ahead and leave that down below if you guys are wanting to hear my more in-depth thoughts. Now, I did read over 100 books this year, which was absolutely crazy, so it was kind of hard to narrow it down to my top 10, but I finally did it, and without further ado, let's get started. Coming in at number 10, I have Origin by Jennifer L. Armentrout. If you're not a stranger to my channel, you know how much I adore Jennifer L. Armentrout's writing and characters to begin with, and her Luck series is by far one of my all-time favorites. Origin is the 4th book in the Luck series, so I can't talk too much about this because if you haven't read the series, then it will definitely spoil you. But just know that our main characters, Katie and Damon, are really portrayed a lot differently in this book. Their character development in book 4 is just out of this world, and how much they care for each other and for their family and friends just really did it for me for this book. The humor was spot on, the romance was spot on, and just the supernatural craziest was just that. Absolutely crazy. It was everything and more that I could ever want in this series, and it was by far my favorite book in the whole Luck series. Coming in at my number 9 spot, I have Who Do You Love by Jennifer Weiner. This is an adult fiction book following Rachel and Andy as they meet as 8-year-olds in the emergency room. Now, after that fateful day, they are separated and they go on with their lives, but somehow they find their way back to each other over the next 30 or 40 years. And so this book follows their life journey and their friendship and their love story and everything, including the highs and lows and the happy moments and the complications that just come with having a relationship when you are two totally different people and you come from two totally different families and friend circles. Oh my goodness, it was so beautifully done. I loved this book, and I have maybe pushed it upon some of my fellow readers and family members and friends, and there's no shame in that because it is just so good. Coming in at number 8, I have Yes Please by Amy Poehler. If you guys are needing a book that will make you smile and feel happy and laugh, I definitely suggest picking this book up, whether it's by audiobook or physical book. I don't think you guys would be disappointed. Coming in at number 7, I have 1+1 by Jojo Moyes. Now, this book follows a single mom who has a very chaotic family, and of course, like any good Jojo Moyes book, there is some type of love story, and so insert a complete stranger into their crazy chaotic lives, and that's what we get in this book. It was a beautiful story, and by far my favorite Jojo Moyes book. It is not as deep and dark as Me Before You, so if you guys are very familiar with Jojo Moyes and her writing and her stories, and you like the type of books that she puts out, but you're looking for something a little bit less sad and depressing, definitely check out 1+1 by her. Coming in at number 6, I have Confess by Colleen Hoover. Guys, this book was so beautiful. The cover and the contents of this read as well. This book is a new adult read, and I loved every single page of it. I have never read a book before that made me cry in the prologue, but this one definitely did. I was shedding some major tears. So after that, I knew I was definitely going to enjoy the rest of the read. Now, coming in at number 5, I have Hidden Bodies by Carolyn Kepnes, and this is a sequel to You by Carolyn Kepnes, and Hidden Bodies actually comes out in a few months. I got an ARC from NetGalley, and it was shortly after I read You, and so of course I had to read it ASAP. And guys, it was so amazing. I loved it so much more than the first book, which I was not expecting at all. But why I love this book so much is because Joe Goldberg is like the best anti-hero I have ever read about. This book is really dark but super mesmerizing, and I could not help but cheer for Joe throughout this novel, which if you guys have read You, you're probably thinking, Hope, how in the world could you cheer for somebody like Joe? But trust me, my friends, if you enjoy a psychological magical thriller type of read. Definitely pick up You so you can pick up Hidden Bodies. I don't think you guys will be disappointed. Coming in at number 4, I have Easy by Tamara Weber. This is a new adult read. What do you know? I was like obsessed with new adult reads this year, and it follows our two main characters, Lucas and Jackie. At the beginning of this book, we actually see that Jacqueline is being attacked by one of her ex-boyfriend's frat brothers, and thank goodness Lucas comes in and saves the day. And since that moment, he has continued to be present in her life in the most unexpected ways, and this book had crazy twists and turns, and I enjoyed every single minute of it. I think the heaviness of several topics in this book were very respectfully and beautifully done, and I enjoyed this read so very much. Coming in at number 3, I have Winger by Andrew Smith. I haven't read a lot of books that's told from a teenage male's point of view, but this was by far my favorite. Andrew Smith had an amazing way of writing our main character and making me feel like I was right there in that moment with him. This book was quite funny, but of course it did have its twists and turns, and it took a very surprising, deep and serious turn towards the end that I felt like made this book stand out amongst any of the other books that I read this year, and because of it, it came in at my number 3 spot. If you guys are looking for something a little bit different in the YA genre, definitely pick up Winger. I don't think you will be disappointed. Coming in at number 2 could honestly be my number 1, but it is The Martian by Andy Weir. I read this a few months ago, and guys, it was so amazing. The hype is definitely deserved. I think what I loved the most about this novel was just the fact that our main character, Mark Watney, he did not give up. There were so many things that could just push him down, and it could be so easy for him to just whine and complain and just give up on life, but instead he chose to fight. And because of that, the world around him really came together in the midst of this craziness and this doom and gloom situation, and they just really rallied around him, and I loved it. The camaraderie, the humor, just the way that the story was written was everything. And if you guys haven't picked up this book and you guys have been kind of putting it off because you're really not sure if it's your read or not, I definitely say give it a go. Of course, if you're 100% against it, definitely go and see the movie. Of course, I thought the book was a lot better than the movie, and by far the ending of the book was so much better. So like I said, it's definitely worth picking up even if you're a little bit skeptical. And coming in at my number 1 spot for 2015 was Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. I read this back in February, and it honestly changed my life. There are a few books that will do that to me, but this book was definitely one of them. I cried for days because of how impactful this read was. This book is, I think, considered a YA fiction book, although I think it could borderline new adult, which is some of the content that's in it. But friends, Colleen Hoover just knows how to write a tragic love story, and she just writes the most amazing characters, has the craziest twist, and this book was just so filled with angst and filled with so much just like deep rooted conflict and relationship building, and oh my goodness, like I wish I could say more. I did a non-spoiler book review, so go ahead and check that out down below, but it was by far my favorite book. I thought about it for days and weeks and months after reading it, and I'm still thinking and swooning over it today. Dean Holder, our love interest and bad boy in this book, is by far one of my favorite male characters that I've ever read about. And if you guys are looking for a swoony read that isn't just all filled with love, but also filled with some trials and tribulations and relationship building and failed relationships and just like everything that you could ever want in a book, for the exception of supernatural stuff, because there's no supernatural stuff in it. But I definitely suggest picking up Hopeless by Colleen Hoover, or pretty much any book by Colleen Hoover, let's just be honest. Alright friends, well that was my top 10 for 2015. I would love to know if you guys did a similar video like this. Go ahead and leave the link to your video down below. Or if you guys didn't make a video, go ahead and let me know what the best book that you read this year was. I'm super excited for the books that I plan on reading in in 2016. I think there will be some good ones as well. Until next time, friends, I hope you guys have a great day and a happy new year, and I will see you very soon. Bye.